60 of Mike White's podcast. I'm Jack, as always joined by Casey.
Now then.
How's things, mate?
Yeah, not bad. How are you?
Yeah, all good. Knackered as usual, lushed as usual, but, Leeds won at the weekend, so it really doesn't matter what else is going on.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in a good mood. It shouldn't make this much difference, but it really does.
Yeah, and a solid week of it as well. Played 2, scored 5, 6 points.
Yeah, as weeks go, it's pretty good. In fact, we're on. Well, I was going to say the really rubbish link would have been this is episode 360 of the podcast, but it was Wolves who look like they've got the red ring of death because they are down. I know they're not yet mathematically down but if West Ham get anything tonight, they are. So hopefully they don't. But they are 15 points now with 5 games left and 20 odd goals. They are already down. They were before this game, but it's even more done now. And we don't get many of these. We've pointed out a couple of times this season. Just a rare, fairly stress-free win.
Yeah, I think looking back now with the second half, it was a lot more. I think we probably controlled the game a lot more than I think it actually gave us credit for. I think there were we certainly didn't play as well in the second half, but
no, I think the second half was in terms of just quality of a football game, the second half was awful.
But I think for the most part, we had most of the possession. We still had the best chances. It's like a football match broke out, and then after about half an hour, went never mind. Actually,
yeah, but games like that are fine if you're already 2-0 up when it happens. I mean, we should have been 1-0 up after a minute, really. Okafor getting through and playing it square for Calvert-Lewin, who I know is stretching a little bit, but that looked like a pretty weak finish to me. But we just started out on top. Anytime they didn't go long, we just looked like we were going to win it high up the pitch and did several times. We won a few set pieces. We looked dangerous at all of them. Then 18th minute, set piece comes in. It's knocked down for Ethan Ampadu, who, to be honest, looks like he should score himself, but takes a little bit of a balloony touch and it gets saved. Okafor manages to sort of hook it back over his head. And then for some reason, even though it's just been a set piece, everyone's back. They're all in the box. James Justin has about 5 yards in every direction, 7 yards out, which is a weird, it's abysmal defending. But Justin, really good overhead kick, gets lots of pace on it, keeps it down. It's a fantastic finish. And God, considering the reaction when it was said it's 8 million rising to 10, and Leicester fans' reaction of, oh my God, we've fleeced them. We've absolutely fleeced them. He's one of the best, in terms of value for money, you won't find many better in the Premier League this season.
No, I think since he's come into the team, it's hard to fault him in many ways. When your biggest criticism is he's not left-footed.
Yeah, when he plays left wing back, we really lose something in attack because he isn't left-footed.
Yeah.
And he checks back inside too much.
But I was listening to Graham Smith on the Square Ball a bit earlier today, and they were having the discussion about, you probably want Joe Rodon to play some of Wednesday night at least to kind of have him ready for Sunday.
Yeah, because you'd think the Chelsea game, as well as we played in the home game, you'd expect us to be more backs to the wall in that one. So you want the 3 real defenders in there.
Yeah. So, and he's the most likely of them to drop out.
Yeah.
Which would be very harsh, but you know what? It's the it's basically becoming the 11 Pauls. It's becoming the Stuart Dallas of just he'll fit. Don't worry.
Yeah. Well, we did get to see a little bit of him in midfield in this game because he was inverting into the midfield.
In midfield, at one point, there was a front line of him, Bogle, and Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah. I think that we were able to do a bit more stuff like that because there were bits where it wasn't just, oh, we're moving into a 4 in possession and Bogle's moving up. I mean, there were some bits where it was we moved into a 4 and then Justin sodded up the wing and Bogle went into the middle. But the funnier ones were when Bogle sodded off up the wing and it was James Justin just going into the middle. You're like, oh, that's new. It
Yeah.
didn't really come to anything, but it was interesting to see. Um, but yeah, it's a really good goal from Justin. It's nice to see. And you just go, right, we've got one. And it is one of them. I don't know if I mentioned it on the podcast. I know I mentioned the game on the podcast, but like last season, once we've gone past the first season under Fark, when we've had these must-win games, we generally have.
Mm.
And I know I was on about on the drive to the ground, the Stoke game, and how it wasn't just that we got one. It was like straight away, and then you get another, and you've sort of brought the back of the game. And that's the sort of thing you need. And we got it in this. 2 minutes later, they play a poor pass straight to Aronson, breaks down the right, plays what at the time looked like the best pass I've ever seen him play, all the way across to Noah Okafor at the back post. Excellent finish to beat Bentley at his near post. If I'd have been if Leeds had conceded that goal, I'd have questions about the goalkeeper's positioning. He seems to come out on the wrong angle and just leave a gap. But it's a really good finish. Aronson's pass is still a good one, but having seen it back, it does take a deflection, which takes a little bit of the shine off it.
Mm. I mean, the thing I do give Aaron credit for with it is that he does play the passer, because I think it was only a few minutes earlier, and I think it's in the build up to the corner that leads to the first, is that Aronson gets in a similar position out wide, has Calvert-Lewin in the middle, and he turns it down and turns, and it stalls the attack. And I know we win a corner eventually from it, but you know, he certainly has that ability to turn a pass down.
Yeah.
So the fact, and I think when you watch, you can see sort of the blurred figure of Daniel Farkas screaming and waving an arm to get it in the middle.
Yeah.
As I think was, 30-odd thousand others as well.
Yeah, but that's one of the things with it. Him seeing that pass, that's the sort of pass it's really easy to see from the stand.
Hmm.
When you top down, it looks like the obvious ball, but from his position, it won't have been as obvious. And I would have said a million times, I'd rather see the correct ball played in the final third. And if you mess it up, it happens, than playing the safe one all the time.
Hmm. But yeah, like I say, I think from when I've watched it, it does feel like Bentley could probably get there if he commits to it. But like you say, I think he goes with the approach of, I'm just going to come out to narrow the angle straight away.
Yeah.
I
just don't think he does now it.
No, I think he gets his positioning wrong. And yeah, Okafor, just nice, simple goal for him.
Yeah.
And he's on
he
fire.
I mean, it sort of went under because of the way Justin scored and because it was sort of just aimlessly flicking it back over his head. I mean, goal and assist again. Like,
Yeah,
he's in some really good nick at the minute, is Okafor. And long may it continue. Like, and at that point, to be honest, it's Leeds, so there's always some nerves. But it was basically done. And I think the only thing that we really need to talk about before literal stoppage time is there's a 5-minute period in the second half where Adam Armstrong has one disallowed for offside, which it looked offside in the ground. It obviously was because Villa checked it, but the fact that it wasn't in the highlights packages suggests it wasn't even that close.
it was. I know it gets showed in Match of the Day, but yeah it was. The linesman put his flag up straight after it went in, and I think when I've seen it, it's he's leaning ahead, but it's still by. It's an odd thing to say in terms of marginal offsides. It was fairly clear, and I think it'll have been a quick one to check.
Yeah, I haven't even seen it back, but in the ground, we know. I mean, we did have a particularly good view of it. It is one of them where you end up you're dead in line. Like we never were worried. We both immediately went offside. before he'd had the shot or anything. It's a good finish. I mean, he's always been a good finisher.
Against Leeds, especially.
Especially against Leeds. But the more important one is Wolves have a corner and near post header like flicked on, but he's a goal the whole way, and Caldalo makes like a legitimate world class save.
Yeah, it's a really strong arm he gets to it, isn't it? I don't think it's his hand, but
he's moving to the left with all his body weight, so to get his right arm up to flick it over is it's a great save. Apparently, people in the ground said he turned around to watch the replay on the big screen because he knew how good a save it was.
Oh, do you stood there just had like hands on hips, just going, yeah, that's me. That is.
Yeah.
That's the big dog.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a really good save, because I think the concern is, and especially when you are at the bottom end of the table, and in the position we've been for this season, is that it's all well and good sort of controlling a game, but one with our track record of conceding late goals, and I know we've got quite a good home record as it goes, but that goal goes in, and you've now got to try and pick yourself up to get, to step up a gear, and I think it's quite a hard thing to do when you've been playing that way for 20 minutes to just go, okay, right, let's increase the tech. Like, I think it would have been difficult for them, and I think given some of the results Wolves have had, it could have woken them up a bit.
Yeah, I mean, they've done it like Liverpool, Arsenal, Brentford, where they just got back into games when the other team has eased off. And it is hard if you drop down into like first gear. It is hard to get back going again, and especially when you'd have 35,000 fairly loudly shitting themselves around you.
Loads of people pulling on their collars, going, ooh.
Yeah, so I really do think that save from Darlow was massive for us. And then it went into even less of a game. They had less of a threat. We didn't really do loads. Like subs wise, I don't think that there's much to talk about. Like Nonto for Okafor, I don't think there was much in it. Gruev coming on for Aronson, and like that didn't really. We sort of altered the shape a little bit, didn't we? With Tanaka pushing a little bit further forward.
Yeah, and I think you had. I think with sort of Okafor and Gudmundsson as well, wasn't it? It's just a case of get them rested now. We've got a game Wednesday and a game Sunday.
Yeah. Well, we made sure to give Gudmundsson plenty of rest, taking him off in the 96th minute.
Yeah.
But
because he'd been sort of limping around a bit.
Yeah, I was surprised that one didn't happen earlier. I mean, to be honest, even though it was the 67th minute, I thought the Okafor one might happen earlier, just because it's the one thing that you don't tend to get loads of time out of him. But in stoppage time, it was Nonto down the left, plays a really good through ball for Calvert-Lewin. He seems to have to delay it a sec because he's expecting the run to come a little bit quicker than it does. But he times it well. Calvert-Lewin going through, and he's brought down. It looked an absolute stone wall pen in the ground. Having seen it back, it is a pen, but it's not. It wasn't quite as much of a stone wall one as it looked from the stand. But you could tell there were very few complaints from the Wolves players either. And Calvert-Lewin steps up, puts keeper wrong way.
It's a really nice penalty. Like, he strikes it cleanly. It's very much in the corner.
You'd think strikes it cleanly would be like just the minimum, but we've seen a few this season, including a couple from him.
But yeah, it's a very confidently taken penalty. Still a bit even at that stage of the game where I'm trying to rationalise that Wolves aren't going to get a point from this situation. We're still a bit nervy, but I think I'm trying to think who in my lifetime I would want taking penalties that isn't a COVID denier.
No, that doesn't affect your ability to take a penalty.
It makes you think, though, doesn't it?
It does. It does make you think.
It's not his ability to take the penalty. It's my desire to see him take that penalty. Yeah. But yeah, and at that point, one again, good for him to get on the score sheet. Like I know his last few goals have been penalties, but it keeps his confidence up that he's putting them away. There is an argument that he could have potentially had 3 or 4 goals from these last 2 games from open play, but it is what it is.
It is, and it's become a cliche at this point, but it is true. Your striker getting in good positions and missing is better than them never getting in the positions at all. Like,
yeah, and it's one of the things that I do think works a little bit harshly against you, because it is a somewhat manufactured position for Calvert-Lewin. He was a free transfer, though.
Yeah, he's been an unbelievable signing.
Yeah,
even if it turns out his wage is like massive. Like, let's say it's $100,000 a week, which it probably isn't, but let's say it is. If you get someone on a free transfer on $100,000 a week in the Premier League and they get like 12 goals,
great.
In modern football, that's a bargain. That shouldn't be how things work financially, but it is. So yeah, it's brilliant. It also gets us sort of. I know we've got a lot of points on them, but it also gives us 4 goals on Spurs. The only other little things to mention is Brendan Aronson putting up a little bit of fight by doing a push.
It's killed
a little push, but apparently has completely broken him and he had to go off injured, which was a bit weird.
Did he have a neck like Tyson Kidd or something? Like, was it just primed for injury?
I don't know what's going on, or maybe he's just because it was Krejci, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the thing that's come out straight after the game is apparently we want him. So we'll see if anything happens from there. I mean, he sort of makes sense. We do need a left-sided centre back that isn't Pascal Struijk, because we've only got one again.
Can he also play left back?
I mean, he can play in midfield, so he could in theory.
It's good enough for me.
But yeah, Aronson putting up that little bit of that. It was almost nice to see, and the funnier one to see. It
was unexpected.
Yeah, the funnier one to see is the 102nd minute yellow card of James Justin, which would have been a high tackle in rugby. Oh no, he's wrong side of me. Get down. It was right. I am all for the cynical foul to prevent something until they change that rule, which they will eventually. They'll make that stuff like that a red card eventually. But they haven't done it yet. But I did think at 3-0 up, and we had like a load of people still there. It did seem a little bit needless.
I was going to say, because he was the left back at this point, wasn't he?
Because Wayne Goodwinson went off road and went to centre back.
Yeah, so I think we had the 3 centre backs there, and he's all about that clean sheet. I don't know what the difference is between the cost of a booking and your clean sheet bonus as a defender, but
I bet there's enough of a difference.
He just went, nah.
Well, I mean, there will probably be internal fines and stuff for yellow cards, but I believe that in the Premier League, the fine for your actual fine to the FA for a yellow card is the same as it would be if you were playing.
So you're paying the West Riding FA, I believe.
Yeah, you're paying the West Riding FA
£36.
Yeah, 20 quid or whatever the fuck it is. I'm like Gary Lineker. You see, I never got booked, so I don't know what the numbers are.
Yeah, we'll get Joe Goodwood on the blower.
Yeah,
as a referee and someone who's had yellow cards.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was funny and incredibly cynical. But I suppose it's one of those things that you look at and go, well, good. At 3-0, it's good to see he's still taking this seriously.
Yeah, and as he hasn't, I know he's played a lot of games, but I don't believe he's anywhere near any booking things or all like that for suspensions. So not to worry about there. Elsewhere, we Forest gave us a little bit of hope because they went 1-0 down to Burnley, but ended up winning 4-1. Morgan Gibbs White with a hat trick. So that was a shame to see for us, but it happens. And the more important game, really, with the way things are going, Jorginho Rutter scored a stoppage time equaliser to get Brighton a point away at Spurs. Good lad, Georgie.
There's a little bit of me feels bad because as he strikes that home, it is Archie Gray who's trying to close him down. So obviously
I don't feel bad at all.
The duality of man. But that was all quickly taken care of by seeing the crying face of Xavi Simons, who, look, I appreciate that he has been their best player for the last few weeks, and if you were a Spurs fan, you would be looking at him going, if someone's going to get us out of trouble, it's probably going to be him at this point.
I mean, that goal he scored was an absolute belter.
It's a great strike. Now, I did question whether you can get booked twice for one, taking the shirt off, and two, jumping over the advertising hoardings. Yeah. But I believe just excessive celebration is in and of itself a yellow card, and that's easy with it. But
and I don't think that you can really celebrate excessively in that sort of situation. They
because
the funny thing for me with it was watching it in a pub where it was it's more of a rugby league pub. So the only people really watching were like me, my dad, and two other Leeds fans sat at the bar. And the ball was just in midfield doing nothing in the rugby. And then they just all jumped out of their skin when four of us went, "Get it, Georgie!" So with that result, obviously West Ham play tonight. They play Palace, don't they?
Yes.
Come on, Palace. I don't think it's going to happen because I think we might have even been out on the beer.
I don't know now because it's that thing of
we could technically catch. Well, not even technically, we could catch Palace.
That, and also if West Ham win, that puts them 4 clear of Spurs. Because essentially,
well, you know what? I'm going to interrupt you because the next question I've got written down. It's the last thing I've got written down. The Bournemouth game we'll just talk about and see what happens.
Yeah,
is our Leeds safe? So I may as well get that question out of the way now because where you're going is going to lead to
it. Despite my claims around Christmas, basically saying if we won a couple of games that we would have been safe, which we then won, and somehow we were less safe. Yes, but I can't quite fully commit to it until I don't know. Maybe until like the start of next season, I'll feel confident that we were safe. But it looks now because I think if you draw 3 games and lose 2, or even if you draw 2 and lose 3, 41 points at this point, you're asking Spurs in.
You're asking Spurs then, especially with us now having a bit of a goal difference lead. Like they'd need 3 wins and a draw from the last 5 to tie us getting 2 draws, and they'd because that'd be 3 wins and we would have lost some. That would probably be enough of a goal difference to switch back.
Yeah, but I'm just having a look through because like their next game is away at Aston Villa. Tough game.
Yeah, Villa have everything.
Sorry. Their next game is away at Wolves. Wolves is.
They will win that.
They will.
Because, I mean, if they don't, then they should just go down. Because Wolves, think how bad we were for 45 minutes in that game, and how little we were putting in, and we were still looked comfortably better than them.
Yeah, the only thing you could say about that is, and I know this will have essentially happened to them twice at this point, but if West Ham win, then they are actually down. The sweet release of death may actually inspire them to just go, sod it. Let's just go beat Spurs for a laugh.
I mean, it would be very funny, but I can't say it. But who else have Spurs? So they've got Wolves and Villa.
Wolves then Villa, us, Chelsea, and then last 2 games, Chelsea away, Everton at home.
Yeah.
So, while in theory, you look at that group of players, and
One thing that they'll be looking at as a big help is that they do play us. They will see that as that's the game. And they won't be looking at actually catching us. They'll just see that as a really winnable game with our away record.
well, yeah. So I suppose if you're looking at those 5 games, just in terms of rank order, obviously, purely in terms of position in the league, we are the second worst of those 5. So yeah, they would be looking, thinking if we get that, if they don't win that game against us, oof.
Yeah, I mean, they are in serious trouble. I mean, obviously, like I am still, like don't get me wrong, we are. I said after the Man United game, that was the first time I was able to go pretty confidently. No, I think we'll stay up now. I thought that because that was 3 points where I was expecting 0, and it sort of made all my calculations change. The Wolves one is 3 points where I was expecting 3. As much as I went for a draw in the predictions because I always just pick a pessimistic score, there was no logical reason we shouldn't win that game. 39 points with 5 games to go. It would take something spectacular to go down at this point.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
we've got Burnley at home in that as well.
And to be fair, I know it will be a very different Spurs side, and they definitely looked a lot better at the weekend. But that's a team that's still not won at home since October.
They haven't won full stop.
I mean, they've not won a Premier League game this calendar year.
Yeah, since like.
But they are not doing well at home this year, and fair play to the Spurs fans. I thought they sounded absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I think they are still protesting the board before games and stuff like that. But I think that they've realised, look, it's not going to help. We can go back to this after the final game of the season, but they know the players sort of need it at the minute.
Yeah. And look, me saying 2 more points is very much a low ball when you're looking at us playing Burnley at home.
I don't know what the actual percentage is, but I bet we are now at a stage where the models would probably have us with better than 50% of chance of staying up if we don't get another point.
Yeah.
Which I don't want to see. I don't want to chance that, but that's probably where we are statistically. And as I'm not yet at because I have seen a lot of, well, look, we're only 3 points behind Newcastle and Palace. Maybe we could nick another place. I ain't worried about that. I want Palace to beat West Ham tonight, preferably about 6-0. Just like have another one if we've got 8 points on Spurs and 7 points on West Ham. Great.
Yeah, I think my thinking of it is if West Ham win and it puts that 4-point gap in there, it's the morale for Spurs. Like it's another dagger in the heart at that point after you put in your best performance for months, only come away with a point, and then West Ham win and they create that cushion between them all of a sudden. Like I know Spurs have the better goal difference. But yeah, like I just think that'd be another crushing blow in a season that has dealt them many, many blows.
Yeah. If anyone out there wants to know how pessimistic it is being a football fan, I am, at this point, legitimately 95% confident the Leeds are going to stay up. But we're 3 points ahead of Forest, who I'm 100% sure we're going to stay up.
Yeah.
So, until when they were 1-0 down to Burnley, I thought, oh, maybe. Because, I've made us say I fucking hate Forest. If as funny as Spurs going down would be, I'd still rather Forest went down. But, once they came back, and they didn't just win, they came back and won easy. I did think, you're probably good. There is a chance of us catching Palace. I don't think we'll catch Newcastle, even though they're the ones playing terribly. And it's not because Palace have got 2 games in hand, which should make it easier for them. Basically, Palace can't go down, and Palace are just far enough away that they can't catch Europe. And I say just because Fulham in 12th are 3 points behind Chelsea in 6th.
Yeah.
Anyone in mid-table is in the shout for Champions League, basically. Not for Champions League, for Europa League. So they all have stuff to play for. Palace are just too far away from that and too high up to go down. I think Palace don't play, but will just rotate like mad to try and win the Conference League now. And if they drop like a stone and end up finishing 16th, they won't care if they get the Europa League.
Yeah, I mean, what have we got now? So in the Conference League, the semi-finals are Palace start out away to Shakhtar, and Rayo Vallecano are at home to Strasbourg. If you're Crystal Palace,
I really don't want Strasbourg to win it, even though I know they hate that they're part of a multi-club system. Like they don't like it either, so it's not their fault. But I don't want anything good for that company that owns Chelsea.
Yeah, if you're Palace, though, you're looking at those four, and you must be thinking, we've got a very good chance of winning this, and
I don't know what the odds are.
Back in Europe.
Yeah, and this time actually getting to be in the Europa League where they should have been this time.
Yeah, and what's the Europa? Oh, that is what I'd not noticed that with the Europa League. So Forest and Villa playing each other, and Braga and Freiburg on the other side. Which again, especially if you're Aston Villa, because I know Villa have tailed off a bit in the league, but that's a competition you're looking at and going.
You say that, but they're basically guaranteed. At this point, I would say they're guaranteed Champions League football either way, because 5 are going to get in from the league. They're 10 points clear of Chelsea.
Are they 4? They're 4.
Yeah, they're 58 points in 4th. 6th place is Chelsea on 48. Like they're basically in for that anyway. So they again, much like Palace, they can afford to rotate a little bit to try and win a trophy.
Yeah.
And what the actual Premier League wants is Villa to drop like a stone, finish outside the Champions League places, and then win the Europa League.
Yeah.
Because then there's 6 in the Champions League, which is awful and shouldn't be a thing. But that is what, like...
Yeah, because there was the reminder for us that if we were to play... Well, if we played Man City in the final and lost, we would not get into Europe.
No, that isn't a thing anymore.
That's not a thing anymore, unfortunately.
Because it was for our childhood, wasn't it?
It was the football manager dream. If you got a championship team to the FA Cup final, you were like, I'm saying so many children, and we're going to be great next year.
Yeah. Who are we playing? Oh, we're playing Arsenal. Excellent. That means even if we lose, we're in Europe.
There we go.
I tell you what, the race for Europe is unbelievable. Chelsea 6-48. All of these have played 33 games. Chelsea 48, Brentford 48, Bournemouth 48, Brighton 47, Everton 47, Sunderland 46, Fulham 45.
Yeah, I will say that they've made it, or it's become quite an interesting run-in at the moment. The obvious one with Man City getting themselves back in the title race.
Yeah, they are now favourites with the bookies.
I mean, it's hard not to believe in them because you've got someone. Not only have you got players that have been there and won it before, but you also have a manager who has so much experience of winning.
Yeah.
To the extent where I think if Arsenal lose in both the Champions League and the Premier League, I think Arteta gets sacked.
I don't think that he will, but like I could see the argument for it.
I think
messing up from this position.
I think at this point you've got to win one of them. Like if they win the Champions League, I think the Premier League you can forgive all of a sudden because it's something Arsenal haven't done in such a long time is win.
Well, I mean they've never won the European Cup / Champions League.
I mean, even just in terms of what the last final was, that 2005, 2006?
2006 because Liverpool won it in 2005.
Yeah.
So them getting beat by Barcelona is because Jens Lehmann got sent off and Almunia came on.
So kind of even through that boom period,
1-0 up, weren't they?
Even through that boom period of like Scum were in the final a lot, quite regularly. Chelsea were, Liverpool were. Even though Arsenal were always in the top four around that time, they were not getting to finals.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you win that, you can forgive the Premier League, I think. But yeah, I think both an Arteta goes, and I kind of hope it's both.
Yeah.
Like it's that thing of I get no joy in Man City winning it.
No.
But I really don't like Mikel Arteta, and I don't like Arsenal's football.
Yeah, like generally speaking, I prefer Arsenal to Man City.
Yeah,
it's because, and I've said it right, because when we were kids, and especially when we were never going to get it, there was a lot of times where the only hope on it not being Scum winning the league were for it to be Arsenal. But this Arsenal team is very unlikable.
Look what they did to lovely Ben White. Look what they did to him. He was a fine, upstanding young man when we had him, and look what they've turned him into.
Yeah. So yeah, that massive chasing pack of clubs all after 6th place includes Bournemouth, who we play on Wednesday night. Who obviously it's still Iraola, but who, as of I'm assuming it was embargoed till 5 p.m. because I've had various notifications. Marco Rosa has signed a 3-year deal to replace him from next season.
They've appointed someone now.
Yeah, it's already done and sorted. Obviously, I mean, he is a quite respected coach. He's another one in the Red Bull factory, isn't he?
Yeah, I think the on top of outside of obviously, I think Iraola got off to a rough patch, but they gave him the time to bed in the tactics, and kind of since that period, that they have been a really enjoyable team to watch. And obviously from someone who with his ties to Athletic as he does, that there is something to be loved about him in terms of his football anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I would be very surprised if that isn't where he's going.
Yeah. The incredible thing this year, and if you're a Bournemouth, you're always going to lose key players. That's just going to happen. But the players they've sold this year, and it has just not had an impact on them whatsoever.
No, Kepa was their number one last year, wasn't he? They did actually play him a lot. So they lost their goalkeeper and 3 of their back 4.
Yeah, like this year, their goalkeeper this year is their backup goalkeeper from last year. Is it Petrovic?
No, they signed Petrovic this summer, didn't they?
Did they?
Yeah, they signed Petrovic this summer.
Oh, okay.
To replace. I'm saying that with about 90% confidence, but it's more that last season Senesi was the backup centre back, and he's been their main man at centre half now, and played all season and been really good. James Hill was like the young centre back / right back that played occasionally. He's now playing all the time and looks really good. They lost Kirkes for a shit ton of money. I don't know what they paid for Truffert, but there's barely been a difference. But Alex Jimenez at right back, I think they have now signed permanent, but he was on loan from AC Milan. He's 19. For that to be a back 4 that has you 7, they were 7th or 8th, but level on points with 6th is it's a phenomenal achievement.
I'm just looking at their transfers here. And this is off Wikipedia. So Truffert 14.5 million. Petrovic 20,
which is nothing when you've sold your existing left back for 50.
Yeah. Petrovic for 25. Diakite 34.5.
Who I'm guessing he's injured because I haven't seen him play for ages.
Yeah.
It's not listed as an injury, so he might just be on the bench.
Ben Gannon-Doak 25.
He's been very injured, hasn't he?
Yeah. Adley 25. Is it Milosevic?
Yeah, he's the one that if it was Football Manager, you'd assume was going to be brilliant because he's an 18-year-old massive Serbian centre back.
Yeah, like he was 13 million. They brought in Fraser Forster on a free. I'm guessing that's a child they brought in from Lorient.
Where is that? Did Eli Krupi become permanent this summer, or was that last summer?
I think it might be.
And he was back on loan at Lorient.
Yeah. So and then there's in January Alex Toth from Ferencváros.
Yeah.
Rayan from Vasco da Gama,
who looks like a great player.
He's 24.5 million, and Alex Jimenez 16.5.
Oh, so they did make that permanent. Good, that's a great deal for them based on what if he's this good at 19. Like worst case scenario, they're going to sell him for 30, I would think.
But you're looking, and this is Football Manager style numbers they're putting up here, just in terms of sales. House, Hyson go to Real Madrid 50 million, Kerkesh 40 million listed here. Was it Ilya Zabani 54.5, Dango Ouattara 42.5, which I was still amazed at now.
He's been good for Brentford, but that was a much bigger fee than I was expecting when it happened.
Yeah, and then in January, Semenyo for 64 million.
Yeah, we didn't even mention that when we were on about it. Like they lost their best player and just signed some kid from Brazil. And yeah, he hasn't been Semenyo, but he's been pretty fucking good.
There is a reason why I think it was totally fair to tip them to be near the bottom end this season when you'd lost your first choice goalkeeper and 3 of your back 4. But I think it's a lot of credit to Iraola that one, the replacements that have been brought in have worked out, and 2, the players that have been there for a few years now. I mean, Alex Scott, I know he's had a few injuries, but he is doing so well in that team.
Yeah, he's a cracking player. He's like kicked on an extra gear. It's a little bit of a shame for him that it's probably just going to be too late to get him in the World Cup squad.
Yeah.
Like if he'd have done this 6 months earlier, because he did get a call up, didn't he, in a cap, I think. But if this had happened 6 months earlier, he might well have got in.
Yeah.
He's probably only an Elliot Anderson injury away from sneaking into the squad.
Yeah, him or Wharton, if they were to pick up an injury, I think he might get the nod. And then you're sort of looking like Evan Nilsson's been there a couple of years now.
And they've managed to, in this, because I haven't checked, is it 6 in a row that they've won?
It's something like that. They've been on a fantastic run.
Oh, no, it's not the number of wins, is it? It's like they've had quite a lot of draws, but they're unbeaten in like a load of games. I can't remember how many it is. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they're unbeaten in 12. They've only won 5 of them, but unbeaten in 12 is pretty good going.
Yeah.
They've just really timed this run. And one of the things that's really helped them is they've managed to get Krupi and Evan Nilsson into the same team. Krupi's sort of been playing as the 10.
Yeah.
And that's really made them look stronger because that Krupi looks like a fucking great player.
Yeah, as I say, they are at the moment their recruitment has just nailed it because it could have been very easy to make these signings and it go horribly wrong. Yeah. And to find yourself in a relegation battle. So, like you say, I think it speaks well to their recruitment and Iraola for just bringing in the right players.
Yeah. The team news-wise, obviously, we haven't had the press conference yet because, I mean, I actually thought it would have been today. But I haven't seen anything. I've been working, but I haven't seen anything, so I'm assuming that it's just going to be tomorrow afternoon instead. But barring injuries, like their team last time out, Petrovic in goal, Jimenez, Hill, Senesi, Trufer, Scott and Christie in middle, Rayan, Krupi, Tavernier behind Evan Nilsson. Unless they've picked up some injuries, I think that'll probably stay the same.
Yeah, I think so as well. Like there is a couple of changes you can make in there, but when I look at their bench,
if they want a little bit more bite in midfield, maybe Tyler Adams comes in for Ryan Christie.
Yeah.
And that's about it. And I think we'll be unchanged as well.
Yeah, I think so. Because from the way Farker was speaking after the game, that the thought isn't there of I'm going to rest some players for the semi-final.
No, if Spurs had lost, I still wouldn't have done it, but I could have seen the argument.
I think there'll be. I think you might see some earlier substitutions. I think we might do around 65. Like I say, I think Okafor might come off. I think Roden might come on again just to get him, 20 minutes before Sunday. Yeah. But yeah, I think for the most part, if you were going to make a change, and this is purely based on their style of football more than anything else, you could bring Gruev in for Tanaka if you wanted to go. I think you'd lose some dynamism, but you would have obviously the more defensive-minded central midfield partnership. But
if they're playing Scott and Christie, then I can get on board with that a touch. I still wouldn't do it.
No,
if they end up playing Adams, then I really want Tanaka.
Yeah. If we can get a point from this, I think it's a very good result. They are a very good team.
In really good form.
Yeah, who I'm assuming now also don't have a game at the weekend, so we'll have a decent break.
Well, I think normally by the time it's semi-finals, everyone's normally back playing fully.
Was this game not meant to be this weekend though?
Oh yeah, it was. I thought. It was.
That's what I'll double check.
They aren't playing. I've just checked. They haven't got any other ones that need moving from other times or like that. So yeah, they've got a massive rest after this.
So yeah, so they may as well. And in fact, it's Sunday. It's Sunday the 3rd of May. Their next game. So yeah, so they have no need to rest anyone.
Yeah.
To in that regard, so they may as well go full strength. Yeah, I'd stick with the same team because I think it's one as much as possible. If you can put out the same starting lineup week after week and it's working for you, there's no sense in changing it. I think Tanaka's certainly earned his place still in the starting lineup.
I think he'll be unchanged. I think if he changes anything, it'll be Roden for Justin. Justin's played really well. He doesn't deserve to get dropped, but if Roden is like properly fit, that is his best back three. So I think if Roden is properly fit, he'll probably do that and then maybe take him off after. Mind you, if he you know what Joe Roden's like. Even if he starts him thinking, I'll take him off after an hour, he probably won't. He'll probably play for him. I will have to put all the predictions on Twitter because it's my fault. I forgot to message everyone early enough. But Connie did pick up 8 points by getting it dead on against Wolves. So he's caught up a little bit. Little Danny's still winning by a distance. It'd take somewhat weird for anyone it'd take a couple of correct scores for anyone to actually catch him up.
Yeah.
But what have you got for Bournemouth away?
I am going to be pessimistic about this. I think we lose 2-0.
I think that's a fair enough thing. They are, in really good nick, and they're at home.
And they've got something to chase after.
And even though we still have everything to play for to stay up, they need 3 points more than we do now, which will make a difference. But we're just being so stodgy defensively, managing to keep teams out that I'm going one apiece.
Yeah, it's a fair shout.
Yeah, I think we'll pick something up, and I think they'll probably have like 60% of the ball, but that might actually suit us going forward. I think we'll get a lot of good chances to counter attack.
Yeah, I think so as well.
So, and it sort of means I think he'll only play an hour, but Okafor's probably the man I'm looking at the most for this game. just getting us up on counter. Him and Goodmanson.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a fair shout. And to be fair, in the form he's in, and yeah, I'm sort of looking forward to him going. I think he's not added the end product, but I think he certainly looks so much more settled into this team now.
Yeah.
I don't know. He had the knock a bit before, but yeah, like you say, you just want to keep him on the pitch sort of as long as possible at the moment because he just looks so confident.
Yeah, and in terms of who I'm worried about, literally their whole front four. If it's Tavernier, Krupi, Rayan, and Evan Nilsson. Evan Nilsson is a good player, but if we play, especially if Roden comes back in, we have his full front three. I'd be slightly less worried about him because I think we match up fairly well against him. But the three behind, there's like his crossing was awful, so we didn't talk about it. But Chachua did actually like get past Goodmanson a few times, and Rayan is a lot scarier on that front.
Yeah, I'm just looking here in terms of their goal scorers in the league at the moment, and there's not.
I think that they're one at teams with quite a big spread. I think.
Yeah, like kind of tied at the top of.
It's Krupi top.
It's like Krupi and Semenyo both got 10. Evan Nilsson 6, Tavernier 6. So yeah, you've got a decent spread of players there. So it's that thing of like they don't have that leading player, but it also shows that they can score from all over.
Yeah,
and it's in the Tavernier. It's in the Tavernier genes, isn't it, to have a shot from distance?
Well, it's also Leeds fan.
Yeah. Leeds fans always score against us.
Yeah, I'm assuming that. I don't actually know for certain if he is, but I know for certain that his brother is. So I think it's fairly likely that he is as well. But yeah,
I'll tell you what, as careers go, by the way,
yeah,
as brothers who are both footballers who, while staying in the UK, couldn't have got much further away from each other geographically.
Yeah, they'd have had a job on, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Someone needs to go to Plymouth.
I thought you were going to say one of them needs to go to like West Brom, but that's probably not the best point.
I don't know what's right up at the. I don't know what clubs are right up at the top of Scotland. I'll just say Wick Academy because that is a team.
Yeah. By the way, just before we finish, we've now got to a position where Leicester need 8 points from their final 3 games to stay up.
Yeah, they're 8 points behind with 3 to go. They need a miracle. Well, and they already had one when they won the league. So yeah, it's amazing how different it was. When they won the league, I was so pleased.
Yeah, how things change so quickly.
Yeah, but yeah, that will do us for episode 360 of Mike Lights Podcast. We will be back, I'm going to guess, Thursday. What day are you done at a better time, Thursday or Friday?
Finished similar time each day now.
Okay, one of Thursday or Friday, we'll be back to talk about an FA Cup semi-final, which I didn't think I'd be saying at the start of the season. I've been Jack, see ya.
Been Casey, have a good one.
In a bit.